Hey guys, tonight we embark on a rather peculiar journey. Imagine if Zeus, the mighty king of the gods, decided to hang up his lightning bolts and take up farming instead. Yes, you heard that right. Picture him, the ruler of Olympus, with dirt under his nails and a straw hat perched atop his thunderous head, trying to coax life from the soil. You probably once survived this whimsical exploration of divine agriculture, but who cares? Let's dive into this absurdity together. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from, so feel free to share your location and local time in the comments below. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Imagine it's a bright morning on Mount Olympus. The sun rises majestically, casting a warm glow across the heavens. But instead of the usual thunderous roars and weighty decisions about humanity, Zeus gazes down at the lush valleys below and feels an unusual stirring. What if, he muses, I traded my omnipotence for the simpler life of a farmer? Maybe I could plant some crops, feel the earth beneath my feet, and cultivate something tangible. The other gods might raise an eyebrow or roll on the floor, laughing at the thought of their king abandoning his throne. Yet, there's an undeniable charm to the imagery. Zeus, clad in overalls instead of armor, cradling a hoe instead of a lightning bolt. It's a sight that conjures smiles, while also raising questions about divine responsibilities. His decision is met with skepticism, but also a hint of excitement. After all, history tells us that humans have been cultivating the land for thousands of years. In fact, the earliest signs of agriculture date back to around 10,000 BE, a shift that changed the course of human civilization. Imagine the irony of Zeus, the god who could command storms, now struggling with something as basic as planting seeds. It's like watching a superhero try to bake a cake, comical and endearing all at once. As he steps down from Olympus, he realizes that farming isn't just about planting seeds, it's a delicate dance with nature. Each crop has its own rhythm, its own needs, and its own life cycle. Historians still argue whether the earliest farmers viewed their crops as divine gifts or merely a means of survival. But for Zeus, it's the first question that tickles his curiosity. Here he is, the god of the sky, now at the mercy of the earth. Zeus may have conquered Titans and defied fate, but when it comes to farming, he's a novice. His first day in the field is filled with laughter, mostly at his own expense. As he fumbles with a plough, he realizes he doesn't even know how deep to dig. He stabs the ground like a man brandishing a sword, a far cry from the graceful strokes of an experienced farmer. The soil looks at him like an old friend who can't help but chuckle at the sight of someone so out of their element. There's a humorous contrast to this grand figure, known for wielding the power of storms and thunder, now dealing with the realities of weather in a much more personal way. He finds himself frustrated as the wind blows away his carefully arranged seed packets, and he knows he can't just summon rain when he needs it. Farming requires patience, a virtue not often associated with the king of gods. As day turns to dusk, the sun sinks low, and shadows stretch over the fields he's just begun to cultivate. Yet, a sense of peace washes over him. This new life is grounding, literally. There's an unexpected satisfaction in tilling the soil, feeling the warmth of the sun on his face, and witnessing the beauty of nature's cycles up close. It's a stark departure from the grandiose banquets of Olympus, where ambrosia flows like water and the gods debate the fates of mortals. As night falls, the stars twinkle overhead, and Zeus, now a humble farmer, contemplates his decision. He may have left Olympus behind, but perhaps this is where he belongs, among the soil, the crops, and the laughter of villagers who might soon come to visit. Who knew that the king of the gods could find solace in a simple life? And with that thought, he drifts into a peaceful slumber, dreaming of cornfields and sunflowers, where the only thunder is that of a distant storm rolling over the hills. As dawn breaks over the fields, Zeus awakens with the sun's golden rays spilling into his makeshift farmhouse. Today is a significant day's first foray into the world of farming. He stretches mightily, cracking his back, and marvels at the quiet that envelops the landscape. The only sounds are the chirping of birds and the rustle of leaves. Silence is a stark contrast to the boisterous feasts of Olympus. In this moment, he feels both a thrill of excitement and a twinge of anxiety. Dressed in his new attire, a plaid shirt, and worn jeans, Zeus steps outside, ready to tackle the day. He looks around at his modest plot of land, a patchwork of rich soil and frail weeds. Armed with his plough, he feels like a warrior of a different kind, ready to conquer the earth beneath his feet. But as he picks up the plough, a comical sight unfolds. The plough seems heavier than he anticipated, and he struggles to lift it off the ground. It's far removed from commanding storms with a flick of his wrist. Historians often argue whether the agricultural revolution marked humanity's greatest achievement or its downfall. For Zeus, however, this is a profound moment. He's not just a deity. He's a fledgling farmer learning to cultivate life. It's humbling, and that humbling experience is both foreign and exhilarating. His first task is to clear the land. As he wrestles with the weeds, he realizes that they are far more resilient than he gave them credit for. One stubborn weed seems to mock him, refusing to yield even under his godly strength. He finds himself talking to it. "You're tougher than you look, aren't you? Perhaps farming requires not just strength, but a strategy. Maybe he should consult Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, who knows a thing or two about coaxing life from the ground." With a huff and a puff, Zeus finally manages to clear a patch. He stands back, admiring his handiwork, but the sight is less than glorious, a few brown patches of earth surrounded by stubborn green weeds. If only he could summon a bolt of lightning to purify the land, but alas, he is now bound by the rules of nature, and there's a certain satisfaction in the sweat trickling down his brow. Suddenly, a thought hits him. What if I planted something mythical? Perhaps he could grow ambrosia, the food of the gods, and defy the very essence of his new life. But then, he chuckles to himself. That would defeat the purpose of this humble journey. Instead, he decides to stick with the basics: cucumbers, tomatoes, and perhaps some herbs. After planting these first seeds, he stands back to survey the field. It's a small, unimpressive patch, but in his heart, it feels monumental. The sun hangs overhead, warming his back, and he realizes that farming is also about patience, is something he realizes he has always struggled with. The gods of Olympus may be eternal, but life in the fields moves at a different pace. As he digs deeper into his newfound passion, he recalls stories of farmers in ancient Greece who prayed for rain and offered sacrifices to ensure a fruitful harvest. What would they think if they saw him now? A god with a trowel in hand. Would they laugh, or perhaps ask him for divine blessings in return for their hard work? Just then, he hears a familiar voice. Demeter has arrived, her aura radiating warmth and wisdom. "Zeus, what a sight to behold!" she exclaims, folding her arms and surveying the land. "I never imagined the king of the gods would trade in his thunder for a hoe. You might need a little help." He chuckles, realizing that while he possesses divine strength, farming demands a different type of skill. Demeter, with her expertise, begins to guide him through the intricacies of planting. With a simple flick of her wrist, she highlights the need for crop rotation and soil health. "You have to treat the earth like a friend, not a foe," she advises, planting rows of carrots with an effortless grace. As they work together, Zeus can't help but notice how much more he learns from her gentle guidance than he ever did from wielding power in Olympus. There's something enlightening about working side by side with a goddess who embodies the very essence of the harvest. Together, they laugh and joke, sharing stories of the past. Demeter recounts her escapades with the likes of Hades and Persephone, while Zeus brings up tales of his many conquests, though he quickly realizes they paled in comparison to the simple joy of planting seeds. As the sun begins to set, casting shades of orange and purple across the sky, Zeus feels a sense of accomplishment wash over him. They have turned a barren patch of earth into a vibrant canvas of promise. Who knew farming could be this rewarding? He muses aloud. And as he closes his eyes, the weight of the day begins to fade. The soft sounds of nature lull him into a deep slumber. One can only wonder what dreams await him tonight in this newfound life, perhaps visions of bountiful harvests, or even a few cheeky weeds that still refuse to bow down to the king of the gods. Morning breaks anew, and today the fields seem to buzz with potential. Fresh dew clings to the leaves, glistening under the early sun, and Zeus stretches luxuriously in his humble farmhouse. As he steps outside, he takes a deep breath, inhaling the earthy scent of the soil, the fragrance mixed with the sweetness of blooming flowers. This is the new life he chose, a life that feels both foreign and familiar. Demeter returns, her presence illuminating the landscape. "Ready for another day of farming, Zeus?" she asks, a teasing lilt in her voice. Zeus chuckles, adjusting his straw hat. "More ready than I was yesterday. that's for sure. Although I must admit, my muscles are feeling the strain. In truth, he's beginning to appreciate the physical demands of labor. It possesses a certain rhythm that feels nearly divine in its own right. Today's lesson is all about the intricacies of nurturing the crops. The meter explains the significance of watering, weeding, and understanding the seasons that govern plant growth. Each plant has its own needs, just like each god has their own domain, she says thoughtfully. You must listen to them. It strikes Zeus how much this parallels his own experience of governing the heavens. Each deity, each human, has their own struggles, desires, and rhythms. Historians still argue whether ancient civilizations thrived because of their agricultural practices or due to the interventions of their gods. Demeter continues, but I believe it was a bit of both. Nature and divinity work hand in hand. Zeus nods, absorbing her wisdom. He realizes that his role as a farmer is not so different from his role as a god. Both require patience, understanding, and a nurturing spirit. With the day's lessons in mind, Zeus embarks on the task of watering the seedlings. Armed with a simple watering can, he approaches the patch he planted yesterday. But as he tilts the can, he finds that, surprisingly, it's not as easy as it seems. The water splashes everywhere, drenching him in the process. Well, that's one way to refresh myself, he laughs, shaking off droplets like a dog coming out of a river. Just then, a nearby villager named Thalia wanders by, witnessing the spectacle. She bursts into laughter, clutching her sides. Is that how the king of the gods waters plants? You might want to tone it down a bit. Zeus can't help but join in her laughter. The absurdity of it all. There he is, the almighty Zeus, struggling to master the most basic of tasks. Perhaps I should have brought my thunderclouds with me, he quips. A little lightning might make this job a bit easier. Thalia shakes her head, still giggling. Leave the lightning to the storms, Zeus. We need rain, not a thunderstorm ruining our crops. Their banter continues, and Zeus learns that Thalia is not just a villager, she's a skilled herbalist. She offers him advice on companion planting, the ancient practice of growing certain plants together for mutual benefit. Tomatoes thrive alongside basil. You know, she explains, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. He can see her passion for gardening, and it reminds him of the fervor of his fellow gods when they discuss matters of Olympus. As they work side by side, Zeus discovers that farming isn't just a solitary endeavor. It's about community, shared knowledge, and mutual support. You must rely on others, Thalia reminds him, as she shows him how to prune back some overzealous plants for better growth. Even a god needs help sometimes. It's a profound realization, echoing truths he's always known but seldom practiced. In the midst of their labor, Zeus' curiosity gets the better of him. What do you think would happen if I called upon a storm right now? Would that help the crops? Thalia raises an eyebrow, a playful smirk creeping onto her lips. If you want to ruin them in the process, sure, but trust me, the plants would much prefer a gentle rain to your thunder. As afternoon approaches, Zeus and Thalia have formed an unlikely friendship, united by their shared love of the land. They talk about everything from the challenges of farming to the joys of simple living. I never thought I'd be farming alongside the king of the gods, Thalia admits, shaking her head in disbelief. It's a bit surreal, to say the least. Zeus reflects on the irony of it all. Here he is, a god with power over storms, trying to understand the delicate balance of life in the fields. It's a lesson in humility, a reminder that even those in positions of great power must find ways to connect with the earth and its people. As he works alongside Thalia, he feels changes taking root within him, far more profound than the seeds he's planted. As the sun begins its descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Zeus looks over the patch of land they've tended together. There's a beauty in the imperfection. Some plants are thriving, while others are struggling. It's just like life, isn't it? He muses. Some days are fruitful, while others leave you wondering what went wrong. Thalia nods, her expression thoughtful. Exactly. But the key is to keep nurturing what you have even when it seems hopeless. There's always potential for growth even in the most unlikely of places. With the day's work winding down, Zeus feels a deep sense of satisfaction. He's beginning to recognize the value of connection, both to the earth and to his fellow beings. As he bids farewell to Thalia, the sun dips below the horizon, and he heads back to his farmhouse, heart full and mind buzzing with new thoughts. Tonight, he'll dream of fields and friendships, of laughter and learning, and maybe, just maybe, of a future where he continues to cultivate both soil and spirit. The following morning greets Zeus with the cool kiss of dawn, a refreshing breeze rustling through the leaves outside his window. Today is pivotal. Crops need tending, and he's determined to embrace the full scope of his new life as a farmer. As he stretches and prepares for the day, he can't shake the feeling of excitement lingering in the air. There's something inherently thrilling about watching life emerge from the soil, and he's starting to understand the rhythms of nature. As he steps outside, he's greeted by a familiar sight, the patch of land he has been nurturing alongside Thalia. It's a small plot, but to him, it feels like a vast kingdom, filled with promise. The sun rises higher, casting a warm glow over the fields, and he can't help but smile at the thought of what he might find among the rows of plants. Today, he decides, will be different. Instead of working alone, he'll invite the villagers to join him in a communal effort. Farming is best done in company, he declares to himself. Perhaps this spirit of community will not only strengthen their ties, but also yield a bountiful harvest. He recalls the ancient festivals of Greece, where villagers would gather to celebrate the changing seasons and the fruits of their labor. The thought of rekindling such traditions warms his heart. He strolls through the village, stopping to chat with the locals. As he approaches a few familiar faces, he calls out, "Who's up for a little farming today? Let's make it a community affair." The villagers look at one another, their expressions ranging from surprise to intrigue. They can hardly believe the sight of Zeus, once a figure of divine authority, now inviting them to work the fields side by side. "Count me." Yeah. Thalia beams, stepping forward. Her enthusiasm is contagious, and soon others join in the fun. What begins as a simple invitation quickly evolves into a festive gathering, with laughter and curiosity ringing through the air. As they all grab hoes, shovels, and watering cans, Zeus feels a sense of unity, forming a beautiful tapestry woven from the threads of shared labor. As they begin to work, Zeus embraces each task with a newfound vigor. Whether it's digging, planting, or watering, he feels the weight of the day's labor settle into a rhythm that feels increasingly natural. His laughter mingles with that of the villagers, a joyful chorus echoing across the fields. However, the challenges of farming are not lost on him. Just as they start to make headway, a sudden gust of wind sweeps through the area, sending loose seeds swirling like confetti in a storm. "Oh no. Not again," he cries as he scrambles to catch them. It's the comical spectacle, reminiscent of his earlier struggles. But this time, instead of frustration, he finds hilarity in the chaos. The villagers burst into laughter, watching their god dart around like a chicken with its head cut off. "Zeus, maybe you should leave the seeds scattering to the winds." Thalia jokes, wiping tears of laughter from her eyes. "We're trying to plant, not create a tornado." Zeus laughs along, feeling lighter with every chuckle. Perhaps this is what it means to embrace humility, to be able to laugh at oneself and to share those moments with others. As the day unfolds, the villagers work together seamlessly, sharing knowledge, stories, and laughter. Zeus learns about different techniques for cultivating the land, and he listens intently as they teach him the importance of patience. Farming isn't just about the physical labor, it's a dance with nature, one that requires understanding and respect. "You have to read the signs," one villager explains, pointing to the clouds. "They tell you when to plant and when to harvest." But as they toil, Zeus feels a peculiar tension in the air. Dark clouds loom on the horizon, ominously swirling around the sun. It's an unmistakable sign of a storm brewing, and a part of him can't help but feel a pang of excitement. Could this be an opportunity to truly test his skills? Just then, lightning cracks across the sky, illuminating the landscape. The villagers gasp, looking to Zeus with a mix of awe and apprehension. "What do we do?" one shouts. They've witnessed the fury of storms before, but now they stand beside their god, uncertain of his response. "Fear not," he calls out, raising his arms. "I have weathered worse than this." His voice booms with confidence, and he channels his divine essence, feeling the surge of power within him. The villagers watch in anticipation. This is the moment they've been waiting for. Yet, as the first raindrops begin to fall, Zeus realizes he must tread carefully. He can't unleash a tempest on his precious crops and the villagers who have come to help. Instead, he focuses on calming the storm, drawing from the lessons he's learned as a farmer. "I will not let the rain destroy our hard work," he whispers, closing his eyes and reaching out to the clouds overhead. And just like that, the storm begins to calm. The winds soften, and rain falls gently rather than in torrents. The villagers stare in awe, witnessing a remarkable display of teamwork between their god and nature. "You truly are the king of the gods," one shouts, his voice filled with admiration. As the rain falls, it nourishes the ground, bringing life to the seeds they've just planted. Zeus feels a surge of joy as he realizes the beauty of this moment, a blend of divinity and nature, a harmony he's never before experienced. The once ominous clouds now melt into a soft, nurturing drizzle, enveloping the fields in a soothing embrace. With the storm past and the sun breaking through the clouds, Zeus stands tall among the villagers, their laughter ringing through the air like music. He's no longer just a god in their eyes, he's one of them, sharing in their triumphs and tribulations. Together, they've transformed an ordinary day into something extraordinary, an experience that will bind them together for years to come. As the sun sets, casting a golden glow over the fields, Zeus surveys the land, a beautiful patchwork of crops glistening with raindrops. It's a sight that speaks to the promise of new beginnings, and he knows he's chosen the right path. In this moment, he's not just a god, he's a farmer, a friend, and a community member, and he wouldn't trade this experience for anything in the world. Tonight, as he lays down to sleep, he embraces the sound of raindrops gently tapping against the roof, a lullaby that is both calming and invigorating. He dreams not of thunder and lightning, but of growth, laughter, and the bonds of friendship forged in the soil. As a new day dawns, the world outside is transformed. The rain from yesterday has left, the fields glistening, and the air is crisp and invigorating. Zeus awakens with a sense of purpose, feeling more at home in his new lifestyle than ever before. He stretches, feels the warmth of the sunlight filtering through the window, and for the first time he notices the beauty of the morning chorus, chirping birds, the rustling leaves, and the distant laughter of villagers already bustling about their day. Stepping outside, he is greeted by the sight of thriving crops, the seedlings pushing through the earth, reaching for the sun like eager children. There's a sense of accomplishment swelling in his chest. This is more than just farming, this is creation, life blooming under his care. He takes a moment to appreciate the beauty of the patch he once thought was insignificant. It feels like a sacred space, a realm he has a hand in cultivating. As he strolls through the fields, he's met by the familiar figure of Thalia, her arms laden with baskets filled with fresh produce. "Good morning, Zeus. Ready for another day of labor?" she calls out, her voice bright and cheerful. The sight of her infectious energy brings a smile to his face. "Absolutely. Today, we shall tackle the weeds and expand our horizons," he replies, feeling emboldened. They begin their work, chatting and laughing as they dig into the earth, pulling stubborn weeds and preparing to sow new seeds. It's a scene of camaraderie, a stark contrast to the solitary existence he once led in Olympus. As they work, Thalia shares her knowledge of herbal medicine, explaining how certain plants can heal ailments. "You know, Zeus, this basil isn't just great with tomatoes, it's also known to help with digestion. If you ever have trouble after a feast, you might want to keep some on hand," she suggests with a playful wink. Zeus chuckles, recalling the lavish banquets of Olympus, where he often overindulged. Perhaps he'll plant a whole field of it. Then, he laughs, imagining the villagers flocking to his farm. For their herbal remedies. It'll be a wellness center right here in the fields. His mind races with ideas for what this humble plot could become. A place not just for crops, but for community connection and healing. As the sun climbs higher, they take a break, sharing a simple meal of bread and cheese. Sitting on the grass, they discuss their hopes and dreams. Thalia opens up about her ambition to cultivate a larger variety of herbs and share them with the village, while Zeus admits he's begun to think about ways to enhance their farming methods with the knowledge he's gathered from the gods. "What if we could host a festival to celebrate the harvest?" he proposes, excitement bubbling within him. "We could invite everyone to share in the bounty of the fields, with games, music, and feasting, a true celebration of our hard work." Thalia's eyes light up at the idea. "That sounds amazing. We could showcase the different crops, share stories, and bring the community together like they used to in ancient times. A festival to honor the earth." Zeus can feel his heart swell at the thought of community, of people coming together to celebrate life and nature's gifts. This is what he had been missing all along, a connection to the world and its people. The laughter, the shared work, the simple joys of life, these are the treasures he now cherishes. But as they finish their meal and prepare to return to work, A familiar figure strides into view, slightly exasperated Hera, his wife. She stands at the edge of the field, hands on her hips, with a bemused expression on her face. "Zeus, what have you gotten yourself into this time?" she calls out, shaking her head in disbelief. "Just tending to my crops, my dear," he replies, trying to sound nonchalant. "You should join Muse, it's quite liberating." Hera raises an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. "Liberating? Isn't that beneath you, king of the gods? It may be beneath Olympus, but it's above the soil," he counters playfully. "Farming has its own kind of power, Hera. I'm learning to create and nurture life, something that transcends our divine battles." Hera softens slightly, the sternness in her expression fading. "I suppose there's a certain charm to it. But Zeus, don't forget your duties. There are still matters in Olympus that require your attention." He knows she's right. The balance between his responsibilities as a god and his newfound passion for farming is delicate. But as he looks around at the thriving crops and the villagers who have become like family to him, he can't help but feel that he's found a purpose here. "I will find a way to balance both," he promises, a newfound determination in his voice. Hera watches him for a moment longer, then sighs, a smile creeping onto her face. "Just remember, dear husband, even gods need to take care of the matters at hand both in Olympus and on this little farm of yours." As she turns to leave, a thought strikes Zeus and he calls after her. "Why don't you stay and help us prepare for the festival? You could teach the villagers about the more divine aspects of agriculture." Hera looks back, intrigued. "Very well. I suppose it could be fun to share a few secrets of the gods with them." And with that, she steps into the field, her willingness to join them adding another layer of excitement to the day. With the sun high in the sky, Zeus feels the joys of community wrap around him like a warm embrace. As they continue to work, he finds himself surrounded by laughter and stories, a tapestry of voices echoing through the fields. Here, he's not just Zeus, the king of the gods. He's part of something greater, a world of connection, hope, and unity. As night approaches, the sky turning shades of gold and lavender, Zeus lays down to sleep, his heart full of dreams of a vibrant festival, a celebration of life and community that awaits him. The morning sun rises once again, casting a golden hue over the fields where Zeus, now fully embraced as a farmer, feels the pulse of the earth beneath his feet. Today marks a significant turning point. The villagers have decided to help him prepare for the upcoming harvest festival. Excitement buzzes in the air like the sweet scent of ripe tomatoes, and Zeus can hardly contain his enthusiasm as he steps outside to greet the day. The village square, typically reserved for markets and gatherings, is abuzz with activity. Villagers are hanging colourful banners, gathering produce and preparing decorations. Zeus watches in awe as Thalia leads the charge, her energy electric as she organizes everyone into teams. "We need to make this festival one to remember," she exclaims, her voice rising above the chatter. "Let's make it a true celebration of our labor." Zeus chimes in, feeling the spirit of camaraderie wash over him. He realizes that this will not just be an opportunity to showcase their hard work, it will also be a moment of connection between the villagers and the divine, bridging the gap that he had once kept rigidly in place. As the day unfolds, Zeus finds himself immersed in the preparations. He moves from group to group, offering assistance where he can. One group is busy arranging tables and setting up a communal feast, while another busily collects fruits and vegetables to display. "These tomatoes are nearly as ripe as the ones from Olympus," he jokes, holding up a particularly plump specimen as the villagers roll their eyes, used to his grandiosity. In a nearby corner, Hera is teaching villagers how to make wreaths from wildflowers, her gentle demeanor softening the initial air of skepticism they had about the queen of the gods getting involved. "You see," she explains, "each flower has a meaning. This one represents love and that one symbolizes fertility." The villagers hang on to her every word, captivated by her divine presence and the stories she weaves with each flower. Zeus observes her interaction, feeling a swell of admiration for his wife. Despite her initial reservations, she has fully embraced this new venture, embodying the spirit of community that he hopes to cultivate with the festival. The laughter and joy in the air resonate in his heart, reminding him that he's creating something beautiful, a gathering of souls bound by shared effort and purpose. As the sun begins to dip low in the sky, casting long shadows across the fields, Zeus decides it's time for a little divine intervention. "How about I summon a little sun shower?" he suggests to the villagers, a mischievous spark in his eyes. It'll add a magical touch to our preparations. The villagers glance at each other, a mix of excitement and apprehension in their expressions. What happens if it rains too hard? One villager asks, half jokingly. Fear not. I promise it will be gentle, he assures them, raising his hands to the sky. With a deep breath, he calls forth a soft mist of rain, just enough to nourish the earth while creating a shimmering effect around them. Villagers watch in awe as the sunlight catches the droplets, creating tiny rainbows that dance in the air. Now that is a spectacle, one villager exclaims, laughing as he dances through the gentle shower. Soon, everyone joins in, twirling and laughing under the beautiful display. Zeus watches, his heart swelling with joy. This is what it means to be part of a community. As the sun finally sets, the sky ablaze with colors, the villagers gather around Zeus to decide on the festival's final touches. We'll need a grand centerpiece, one villager suggests, looking at the produce they've gathered. Something that showcases our hard work and your divine connection. Zeus nods, inspired. How about a massive cornucopia, a symbol of abundance and generosity, he declares. With the villagers' help, they gather baskets and arrange a stunning display of their harvest, vivid fruits, fresh vegetables and fragrant herbs, all intertwined with flowers from Hera's wreaths. As they work, the atmosphere is filled with laughter and light-hearted debates about the best way to arrange the centerpiece. Perhaps the cucumbers should go behind the tomatoes. They need their time to shine, Zeus jokes, nudging Thalia playfully. Finally, as the last rays of light fade, they step back to admire their creation. The cornucopia stands tall, testament to their collective effort, bursting with life and color. Tomorrow will be a day worth remembering, he declares, clapping his hands together. As they prepare to head home, the villagers gather around Zeus, their expressions a mix of gratitude and excitement. Thank you for bringing us together like this, one villager says. You've reminded us of the joy in working as a community. Zeus feels a wave of warmth wash over him, the kind of feeling that doesn't come from thunder or lightning but from genuine connection. It is the Phi who should thank you, he replies. You've shown me the beauty of this life, one that I am honored to share with you. As night falls, Zeus returns to his farmhouse, his heart full. He lays down, the sounds of the village drifting into his dreams. He thinks of the day's events, the laughter, the shared stories, and the beauty that comes from nurturing life together. In this simple life, he's discovered something profound, that true divinity lies not in power or fear, but in connection, love, and the joy of shared experiences. The stars twinkle above and he drifts into a peaceful sleep, dreaming of the festival to come, where the bonds of community will shine brighter than any crown. As dawn breaks on the day of the harvest festival, Zeus awakens with a sense of giddiness coursing through him. The sun rises like a radiant golden coin, illuminating the fields and casting a warm glow over the village. The day is not just another day, it's a celebration of life, community, and the fruits of labor. He stretches, feeling the energy of excitement buzzing in the air, and jumps out of bed, ready to embrace the festivities. Stepping outside, he is met with a scene that could only be described as magical. Villagers are bustling about, transforming the square into a vibrant spectacle of colors and sounds. Banners flutter in the gentle breeze and laughter rings out as children chase each other, their joyful shouts mingling with the aroma of freshly baked bread and ripe fruits. Zeus takes a moment to soak it all in. The spirit of togetherness is palpable, and it fills him with warmth. Thalia is the first to spot him. Zeus, you're just in time, she calls, waving him over. She's donned an elaborate flower crown, her hair adorned with blossoms that reflect the beauty of the festival. We need your help with the opening ceremony. Count me in, he replies, feeling a surge of anticipation. The villagers gather around, their expressions blending excitement and admiration. Zeus is no longer just their god as a friend, a partner in the shared journey of cultivating life and community. They head to the center of the village square, where a makeshift stage has been set up. The centerpiece grand cornucopia, overflowing with the best of their harvest, sits proudly at the front. We'll start with a blessing for the crops, Thalia explains as they prepare. You should lead it, Zeus. Your presence will honor the earth and its bounty. The villagers nod in agreement, and Zeus feels a swell of pride. With the weather holding fair and the energy electric, he senses this as a moment to elevate their spirits even further. Very well. Gather around, he calls out, his voice booming yet warm. As the villagers assemble, Zeus stands before them, the cornucopia gleaming behind him. Today, we honor not only the fruits of our labor, but also the bonds that unite us as a community. He begins. Let us give thanks to the earth for providing us with sustenance and to each other for our hard work and camaraderie. With that, he raises his hands to the sky, channeling his divine energy. The blessings of the heavens shower upon us, he proclaims, and with a subtle flick of his wrist, a gentle spark of light cascades down from above, enveloping the gathering in a warm glow. The villagers gasp in delight, their faces illuminated by his divine touch, and cheers erupt throughout the square. As the ceremony concludes, the festivities kick into high gear. Music fills the air, and villagers break into song and dance, celebrating the moment with joy and laughter. Zeus observes with a smile, feeling a sense of fulfillment that he has never experienced before. The revelry is contagious, and he finds himself swept into the dance, moving clumsily yet joyfully among them. Look at the king of the gods dancing. One villager shouts, laughter echoing in the air. Zeus laughs along, realizing that this moment is worth more than any throne or crown. He is truly alive, surrounded by the warmth of community, immersed in the simple pleasures of life. As the sun climbs higher, the feast begins. Tables are laden with dishes crafted from their harvest-roasted vegetables, hearty stews, and, of course, the freshest bread. The atmosphere buzzes with excitement as everyone gathers to share a meal, passing dishes around with laughter and stories. Zeus takes a moment to reflect on the abundance laid out before him. Historians still argue whether communal meals have shaped human culture or if it's merely a byproduct of social interaction. He muses aloud, causing the villagers to chuckle at his philosophical turn. But I believe it's a bit of both. Thalia nudges him playfully. You sure know how to turn a feast into a lecture, Zeus, she teases, her eyes sparkling with mirth. But you're right. It's these moments that bind us together. As they feast, stories unfold around the tabletails of past harvests, humorous mishaps in the fields and dreams for the future. Zeus listens intently, each story weaving a thread into the fabric of their community. He shares his own tales, from Olympus, albeit with a humorous twist that makes the villagers laugh and gasp in delight. After the meal, games ensue. There are contests of strength, races through the fields, and even a playful tug-of-war that leaves everyone in stitches. As Zeus participates, he feels the thrill of friendly competition and the joy of engaging with the villagers on their terms. It's refreshing and exhilarating, a reminder that even in light-hearted fun, connections deepen. As the sun begins to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the villagers gather once more, this time for the closing ceremony. Zeus stands alongside Thalia and Hera, all three radiating warmth and joy. Let us conclude this festival with a toast to the bonds we have forged and the land that nurtures us. He raises his cup, filled with sweet wine, to friendship, community, and the earth that blesses us. The villagers cheer, raising their cups in unison. The sound echoes through the valley, a joyful exclamation of gratitude that seems to reach the heavens themselves. As the night deepens, they gather around a fire, sharing music and dance under the stars. Zeus feels a sense of contentment wash over him, a balance achieved between his divine responsibilities and his new life as a farmer. He is no longer just a ruler of the sky, he is also a steward of the earth, a friend to those he once ruled from afar. As the festivities wind down, Zeus finds a moment of solitude, stepping away from the laughter and warmth to gaze at the stars overhead. The constellations twinkle brightly, and he reflects on how far he has come. In this simple life, he has found purpose, connection, and joy that transcends the power he once wielded. And as he drifts into sleep that night, surrounded by the warmth of friendship and the promise of new beginnings, he knows he has truly become a part of something larger than himself, a community rooted in love, laughter, and the shared journey of life. The morning after this festival breaks gently, the sun peeking over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village still buzzing with the remnants of celebration. Zeus awakens, his heart full from the previous day's festivities. He stretches and smiles, the memories of laughter and camaraderie swirling through his mind like the gentle morning breeze. As he steps outside, he finds the village still enveloped in a relaxed atmosphere. Villagers begin to emerge, their faces reflecting the joy of a successful festival. There's a glow to their smiles, a lightness in their steps. The air is rich with the aroma of leftover bread and herbs from the feast, mingling with the fresh scent of dew on the grass. Good morning, Zeus, Thalia calls out, her hair still adorned with flowers from their celebration. Ready for another day in the fields? Absolutely. What's on the agenda today? He replies, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Today feels different. It's the day after the festival, and he knows the work continues. The crops need tending, and there's new life in the fields waiting to be nurtured. As they walk together toward the fields, they discuss the plans for the next planting cycle. I was thinking we should rotate some of the crops, Thalia suggests, brushing her fingers through the soil. It's a good way to keep the soil healthy and encourage biodiversity. Zeus nods, impressed by her knowledge. It's fascinating how interconnected everything is, isn't it? The earth thrives on balance, just like our community. Approaching the patch they had cultivated, Zeus is taken aback by how lush it looks after the festival. The plants sway gently in the breeze, each one a testament to their hard work and dedication. It's a sight that fills him with pride both for his own efforts and for the community that has rallied around him. As they work through the morning, Zeus employs the lessons he's learned from Demeter and the villagers. He carefully tends to each plant, ensuring they receive adequate water and attention. It's almost like talking to them, he muses, watering the tomatoes. They respond to care, just like people do. Thalia laughs, her hands busy with weeding. You might be onto something, Zeus. Maybe they like being sung to as well. She starts humming a light-hearted tune, and soon, Zeus joins in, their voices harmonizing in the tranquil surroundings. As they continue to work, the sound of laughter and music drifts through the air, reminding them of the joy they shared the previous day. You know, Zeus begins, pausing to wipe the sweat from his brow. There's something special about this life. I've ruled over many realms, but this feels more fulfilling than any throne. Thalia looks at him, her expression thoughtful. You're not just a king here, you're a part of something bigger, a community where each person contributes and connects. It's not just about the harvest, it's about the relationships we build along the way. As they finish tending to the crops, Zeus stands back and admires their work. We should have another festival soon, he suggests, inspiration sparking in his mind. Perhaps a mid-harvest celebration to highlight our progress and bring the community together once more. Thalia's eyes light up. That's a fantastic idea. We could showcase what we've grown so far and invite everyone to share their own recipes. It would be a true feast of creativity. Their enthusiasm is infectious, and as the day progresses, they begin to plan. Zeus sketches ideas in the dirt with a stick, envisioning areas for games, stages for performances, and spaces for villagers to share stories and recipes. We'll create a tapestry of flavors and experiences, he declares, feeling invigorated by the vision taking shape. As the sun begins to dip low in the sky, painting the world in warm hues, the two friends gather the last of the tools and prepare to head back home. The day was productive, Thalia remarks, giving him a satisfied smile. Cat. Wait to see how the community rallies around the next festival. Just then, a familiar voice calls out from the distance. Zeus. Thalia. It's Hera, her approach graceful and purposeful. I've been hearing murmurs about another festival. Zeus grins, knowing well that his wife would be intrigued. Yes, we're planning a mid-harvest celebration to honor our hard work and what we've accomplished so far. I'd like to help, Hera offers, surprising both of them. I think we can incorporate some of the traditions of Olympus into this festival. It could be a beautiful blend of the divine and the earthly. Now that would be a spectacle, Zeus responds, excitement bubbling in his chest. The villagers would love to see a little divine influence in their celebrations. Hera nods, her demeanor softening as she considers the possibilities. Let's gather the villagers tomorrow and share the idea. I can already envision performances and storytelling that can inspire everyone. As they walk back toward the village, Zeus can see a lightness in Hera's step, a spark of collaboration igniting between them. He realizes that this shared endeavor will not only bring the community closer together, but also strengthen the bonds within his own family. The following day, they gather the villagers together to announce the upcoming mid-harvest celebration. Zeus stands before them, flanked by Thalia and Hera, the excitement palpable in the air. Today, we want to share our vision for a festival that celebrates not only our harvest but also the unity we've built as a community, he proclaims, his voice resonating with enthusiasm. Hera elaborates on her ideas, weaving in tales from Olympus, stories of the gods that will inspire the villagers. We'll have performances, storytelling, and of course, a feast that showcases the bounty of our hard work, she explains, her eyes shining with passion. The villagers respond, with cheers of encouragement, their faces lighting up with anticipation. This will be a celebration unlike any other, one villager exclaims, and soon the air is filled with ideas and laughter as everyone discusses what they will contribute. As they brainstorm, Zeus feels a sense of contentment wash over him. The festival will be a celebration of not just the harvest, but of the bonds that have grown between them. He watches as the villagers share their ideas, their enthusiasm infectious. This community, he realizes, is just as much a part of him as his divine heritage. As night falls, Zeus returns to his farmhouse, the stars twinkling above like a blanket of diamonds. He reflects on the journey he's taken from being a distant deity to becoming an integral part of a thriving community. Here, among the villagers, he has found purpose and connection, and he looks forward to the next festival with a heart full of hope. With a smile, he lays down to rest, knowing that tomorrow will bring more laughter, more connection, and a celebration that will fuse the divine with the earthly in a way that honors both. The days leading up to the mid-harvest festival are filled with excitement and preparation. The village buzzes with energy as the villagers rally around Zeus, Thalia, and Hera, each person contributing their unique talents to make the event a resounding success. As the sun rises each day, it casts a bright light over the swirling activity, illuminating the joy and camaraderie that has blossomed in their community. On one especially sunny morning, Zeus decides to visit the marketplace to gather supplies for the festival. He strolls through the familiar streets, greeting villagers with a friendly wave and a smile. The aroma of baked bread and fresh produce fills the air, mingling with the laughter of children playing nearby. It's a scene that warms his heart, a far cry from the grandiosity of Olympus. As he approaches the marketplace, he spots a local merchant, a jovial woman named Callista, who specializes in herbs and spices. Zeus. Good to see you. What brings the king of the gods to my humble market? She greets him with a beaming smile. I'm here to gather supplies for our upcoming festival, he replies, grinning. We want to showcase the best of our harvest, and I hear you have the finest herbs in all the land. Callista chuckles, her eyes twinkling. Well, you know I take pride in my herbs. What do you need? I have oregano, thyme, and some new blends that will elevate any dish. Zeus nods enthusiastically. Let's gather some of everything. We want to ensure the feast is as flavorful as possible. As they peruse her wares, he learns about the various uses of each herb, marveling at the knowledge she possesses. Did you know that rosemary is said to improve memory? She shares, arranging a bundle of fragrant herbs. It's perfect for those storytelling sessions you plan to have at the festival. Rosemary for memory might just be onto something, Zeus muses, jotting it down mentally. Perhaps we could even have a storytelling contest to see who has the best memory of our shared tales. With a basket full of herbs and spices, he bids Callista farewell and heads toward the next stall, where a group of villagers is showcasing their produce. They excitedly display colorful vegetables, the fruits of their hard work evident in the vibrant hues. Zeus feels a glow of pride as he looks at the bounty before him, knowing that each item represents the collective effort of everyone in the village. By midday, the preparations are in full swing. The village square has transformed into a vibrant tapestry of color and sound. Brightly colored banners flutter in the breeze, and tables laden with produce and freshly baked goods line the square. The air is filled with the sounds of laughter, music, and the pleasant chatter of neighbors eagerly discussing the festival. As Zeus walks through the square, he catches sight of Thalia directing a group of children in making decorations. They're crafting colorful streamers from flowers and leaves, their laughter ringing out as they work together. Zeus, come help us, she calls, waving him over. With a grin, he joins them, kneeling down to assist. What's the plan? He asks, ready to embrace the playful spirit of the moment. Are we creating a masterpiece here? Thalia laughs. Absolutely. We're making the village look festive. These decorations will add to the ambience of the celebration. She hands him a handful of flowers, and together they weave them into garlands, a delightful way to beautify the square. As they work, the children giggle and share stories about the festival. I'm going to tell the best story ever, one little boy declares, puffing out his chest with determination. He'll remember every detail from our last harvest. Zeus chuckles at the boy's enthusiasm. Be sure to include the part where I danced like a chicken, he teases, causing the children to erupt in laughter. That'll definitely get you some applause. As the day progresses, Hera arrives to check on the preparations. Dressed elegantly, she radiates grace and confidence. "How goes the decorating?" she asks with a smile, inspecting their work. "Beautifully," Thalia replies, gesturing to the colourful garlands they've created. "The village is coming together nicely, don't you think?" Hera nods, her approval evident. "It truly looks enchanting. The villagers have done an excellent job, and I can't wait to see the performances come to life." Speaking of performances, Zeus interjects, "Have you thought about how we'll incorporate storytelling and music into the festival?" Hera's expression brightens. "Yes. I've been working on gathering a few talented musicians and storytellers. We could set up a stage where they can enchant the crowd with their tales." As the sun begins to set, casting a warm glow over the square, the atmosphere transforms into something magical. The villagers gather to rehearse their performances, practicing songs and stories that will enthrall the audience. Zeus can't help but feel a sense of pride swell within him as he watches them come together, each person contributing their unique talents to create something beautiful. That evening, as they prepare to wind down, Zeus gathers with Thalia and Hera to discuss the final details. "Let's finalize the lineup for the performances," he suggests, pulling out a makeshift scroll of parchment. "I've got a list of villagers who are eager to share their stories," Thalia offers, excitedly flipping through her notes. "We can have a storytelling round, where each performer has a chance to shine." Hera adds, "And we should include some interactive elements, perhaps a storytelling contest where the audience can vote for their favorite tale." Zeus nods, energized by the enthusiasm in the air. "That sounds brilliant. The villagers will love being part of the celebration, and it'll foster a sense of community spirit." As they finalize their plans, the stars begin to twinkle overhead, illuminating the sky with a soft glow. Zeus feels a sense of contentment envelop him, knowing that they are creating something special, something that transcends mere celebration and strengthens the bonds between them. As the evening draws to a close, Zeus returns to his farmhouse, reflecting on all that has transpired. It's remarkable how a simple decision to embrace a life of farming has blossomed into this vibrant community, a tapestry woven from stories, laughter, and shared experiences. Laying down to sleep, he gazes out at the stars, feeling a profound sense of gratitude for the journey he's undertaken. He knows that the festival is not just about celebration, it's about connection and unity, and he can't wait to witness the magic that will unfold. The day of the mid-harvest festival dawns with a crispness in the air, a palpable excitement that seems to envelop the village. Zeus awakens early, the golden light filtering through his window, casting a warm glow on the earth outside. The day is the culmination of hard work, laughter, and the bonds forged over the past weeks. As he rises, he feels a sense of anticipation wash over him. Today will be a celebration like no other. Stepping outside, he is met with the sight of the village square, which has transformed overnight into a bustling festival ground. Brightly coloured banners sway gently in the breeze, and tables overflow with the fruits and vegetables harvested from their labour. The aroma of freshly baked bread and sweet pastries wafts through the air, tantalizing his senses and stirring his hunger. As he wanders through the square, villagers greet him with smiles and cheerful greetings. "Good morning, Zeus, are you ready for the festival?" one villager calls out, clearly buzzing with excitement. "Absolutely. It's going to be a day to remember," he replies, his heart swelling with pride. The atmosphere is electric with anticipation, and he can feel the energy of the community surging around. Thalia approaches, her hair intricately woven with flowers, radiating joy as she clutches a stack of notes. "The lineup for the performances is all set. We have storytellers, musicians, and even a few surprise acts ready to entertain." "Fantastic," Zeus exclaims, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Let's gather everyone together to kick off the festivities." As they convene in the center of the square, the villagers gather, their faces illuminated with excitement. Zeus stands before them, feeling a sense of honor in addressing the community he has grown to love. "Today, we celebrate not just the fruits of our labor but the bonds we've forged as a community. Together, we will create a tapestry of stories, music, and laughter that will echo through these fields." Cheers erupt from the crowd, and Zeus can feel the energy pulsing through the air. The first performance is about to begin. An enchanting storyteller named Eliana steps forward, her presence commanding the attention of the audience. "Gather round, friends. I shall wave a tale for you, one of bravery and kindness," she begins, her voice melodious and captivating. As she spins her story, the villagers listen intently, their faces illuminated by the firelight and the glow of the day. Zeus watches in awe as Eliana transports them to another world, her words painting vivid images in their minds. The power of storytelling is palpable, and he realizes that this is what binds them together: shared experiences, laughter, and the beauty of imagination. As Ileana finishes her tale, thunderous applause fills the square. Zeus can see the joy radiating from the villagers, a reflection of the connections they've all built. It's a moment of pure magic, and he finds himself utterly captivated by the spirit of the festival. Next, a group of musicians takes the stage, their instruments gleaming in the sunlight. They begin to play a lively tune, and soon, the villagers are up on their feet, dancing and twirling in joyful celebration. Zeus is swept up in the excitement, joining in the dance, moving with a lightness that he hasn't felt in ages. The music carries through the fields, weaving through the trees and inviting nature to join in the celebration. Laughter rings out as Zeus twirls with Thalia and Hera, their spirits soaring as they lose themselves in the moment. Here, there are no barriers, only joy, laughter, and a shared love for the life they've created together. As the day unfolds, more performances fill the square. Villagers share stories of their own lives, recounting tales of challenges and triumphs, of love and laughter. Each story is a thread in the fabric of their community, binding them closer together. Zeus listens intently, seeing the beauty in their experiences, and feeling grateful for the chance to be a part of it. The sun begins to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the square. As night approaches, it's time for the closing ceremony, a moment to reflect on this day and give thanks for the abundance they have experienced. Zeus stands before the villagers once more, filled with emotion. Today has been a celebration of life, of community, and of the love we share for one another. He begins, his voice steady yet warm. Let us take a moment to reflect on our blessings and to give thanks for the earth that nourishes us and the bonds that unite us. He raises his hands to the sky, channeling his divine energy, and a gentle light seems to shimmer around them. May we always remember the importance of coming together, of sharing our stories, and of nurturing the land that sustains us. As he speaks, the villagers bow their heads in gratitude, a profound silence settling over the square. In that moment, Zeus feels a deep connection to them, a bond that transcends his role as a god, transforming him into a steward of their shared journey. With the closing ceremony done, the festival transitions into a night of festivities. The air is filled with these sound of laughter and music as villagers gather around fires, sharing more stories and celebrating the connections they've forged. The stars twinkle overhead, and he feels a sense of peace enveloping him, knowing that he is part of something far more significant than himself. As the night deepens, Thalia approaches him, her eyes sparkling with joy. Today was magical, Zeus. You've truly brought our community together. It was a collective effort, he replies, feeling grounded in the moment. Each of us played a part in this celebration, and it's a testament to our strength as a community. With a gentle smile, Thalia nods, understanding the weight of his words. Together, they stand beneath the shimmering stars, reflecting on the beautiful tapestry of life they've woven, a life rich with love, laughter, and the promise of new beginnings. As the fires crackle and the sounds of celebration continue, Zeus knows that this day will forever be etched in his memory. He has found not only a new purpose, but a true sense of belonging, and he looks forward to the many festivals and stories yet to come. The morning after the festival, a gentle hush blankets the village, as if the earth is still basking in the afterglow of celebration. Zeus awakes to the soft light of dawn filtering through his window, a delightful reminder of the joyous day they shared. Memories of laughter, music, and stories replay in his mind, filling him with warmth. He stretches and steps outside, the crisp morning air invigorating and fresh. As he takes in the sight of the village, still adorned with remnants of the festival, the colorful banners fluttering lazily in the breeze, the vibrant flowers that adorned the square, feels an overwhelming sense of gratitude. The festival was a success, but more importantly, it had woven tighter the bonds of community that he now treasures deeply. As he walks through the village, he encounters Thalia, who is already up and about, her face glowing with these remnants of excitement. "Good morning, Zeus. Did you sleep well after all the festivities?" she asks, a bright smile lighting up her face. "I did. Last night was incredible. I don't think I ever experienced anything quite like it," he replies, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "The stories, the muses, it made me realize how powerful our connections can be." Thalia nods, her expression thoughtful. "It truly was special. I think we created something lasting. The villagers are already buzzing with ideas for the next gathering." "Next gathering?" Zeus raises an eyebrow, intrigued. "I thought we might take a breather after such a grand festival." "Not a chance," she exclaims playfully. The excitement is contagious. We should capitalize on this momentum. Perhaps a seasonal festival to celebrate the change of seasons? Zeus chuckles, shaking his head. You certainly have a knack for keeping the festivities alive. Let's keep the spirit of community thriving. With that, they set off to visit the marketplace, where villagers are already discussing the festival and the joy it brought. The air is alive with laughter as people recount their favorite moments, each story adding another layer to the collective memory of the celebration. As they walk through the bustling square, Zeus feels a sense of fulfillment wash over him. This is not just a community, it's a family. Each villager brings something unique to the table, and together they create a rich tapestry of life. He pauses to admire the remnants of the festival, a few leftover decorations fluttering in the wind, a reminder of the joy they had shared. Today, let's focus on sustaining this energy, Thalia suggests, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. We can gather ideas from everyone and brainstorm ways to enhance our agricultural practices. Maybe we can introduce new crops or techniques that will help us thrive even more. Zeus nods, inspired by her passion. That sounds like a perfect plan. Let's make sure everyone feels included in this next chapter of our journey. As they make their way through the village, they reach the edge of the fields, where other villagers begin to gather. Zeus stands tall, addressing them with a warm smile. Thank you all for coming together today. Yesterday was a remarkable celebration, and I'm thrilled to see how invigorated everyone is. Let's continue to build on this energy and discuss what we can do to support each other as we cultivate our community and our land. A murmur of agreement sweeps through the crowd, and villagers begin to share their thoughts. One villager speaks up, I've been thinking we could try planting some different varieties of grains. They might yield better results. Another adds, and we should start a communal garden where everyone can contribute and learn from each other. It would be a great way to share knowledge and resources. Encouraged by their enthusiasm, Zeus feels a rush of excitement. I love these ideas. Let's create a plan for a communal garden and experiment with new crops together. We can create a space that not only nurtures our plants, but also builds our community. As discussions continue, Zeus notices that the villagers are eager to share their expertise and experiences. They begin exchanging stories about their farming techniques, tales of past harvests, and the lessons learned along the way. It's a beautiful testament to the strong connections they've formed. Thalia steps forward with a suggestion. What if we organize workshops where villagers can teach one another? We could have a day dedicated to learning new agricultural practices and everyone can share their expertise. Zeus beams at her idea. That's perfect. By sharing our knowledge, we can improve our yields and enhance our sense of community. Let's schedule a series of workshops and invite everyone to participate. As the day unfolds, the villagers draft plans for the communal garden, outlining the different crops they want to grow and the layout of the space. Zeus feels a surge of pride as he watches them collaborate, each person contributing to the collective vision. By midday, the energy has transformed into a focused determination. Zeus, feeling energized by their efforts, walks around the gathering, listening to ideas and encouraging contributions. Together, we can create a space that reflects our values and commitment to one another, he reminds them. As they wrap up their brainstorming session, Zeus looks at the villagers with gratitude. Today has been a powerful reminder of what we can accomplish when we work together. I can't wait to see how this communal garden flourishes and how our collaboration strengthens our bonds. As they disperse, excited to begin their new project, Zeus feels a deep sense of fulfillment. There's a profound beauty in community, and he's grateful to have found a place where he truly belongs. Later that evening, as he prepares for bed, he reflects on the day's events. Amazed at how quickly they've transitioned from a festive celebration to a united effort that fosters growth and learning. It's a reminder that life is a continuous cycle, one that requires nurturing and care, much like the crops they're planting. As he drifts off to sleep, he dreams of lush fields, vibrant gardens, and the laughter of villagers' family coming together to create something extraordinary. The promise of new beginnings feels alive within him, and he knows that this journey is just beginning. The sun rises the next morning, bathing the village in a soft, golden light. Zeus awakens feeling invigorated, the energy from the previous day's brainstorming session still buzzing in his veins. Today marks the start of a new chapter in their shared journey, and he can hardly contain his excitement as he steps outside to greet the day. The village is already abuzz with activity. Villagers are preparing for the work ahead, gathering tools, seeds, and whatever else they might need to kick off the communal garden project. Zeus can hear laughter and chatter, a sweet harmony that fills the air with anticipation. As he walks through the village, he spots Thalia gathering a group of villagers near the central square. They are discussing the layout of the communal garden, and he can see the sparkle of enthusiasm in their eyes. "Let's make sure we designate areas for different crops," Thalia suggests, her voice filled with energy. "Absolutely." Zeus joins the group, eager to contribute. "We should consider companion planting. Certain crops thrive better when grown together. It'll help us maximize our space and enhance the garden's health." The villagers nod, appreciating his input. "What about having sections for herbs, vegetables, and perhaps some fruit trees?" One villager proposes, and soon they're all discussing the possibilities, their voices overlapping in excitement. As the planning unfolds, Zeus can't help but feel amazed by the wealth of knowledge shared among the villagers. They each contribute their past experiences and ideas, weaving their individual insights into the plan for the garden. It's a beautiful collaboration, and he feels like a proud steward watching over the blossoming creativity. After some time, they finalize the layout patchwork design that incorporates a variety of crops, herbs, and flowers. "We'll organize a rotation schedule so everyone can have a turn tending to the garden," Thalia adds, her eyes shining with determination. This way, everyone stays engaged and learns from each other. With the plan set in motion, the group sets off to gather supplies. They head to the nearby forest to collect fallen branches for trellises and compost, while others gather seeds from their previous harvests. Zeus feels a surge of exhilaration as they work together, a spirit of unity driving their efforts. As they gather materials, he can't help but marvel at the transformation of this once quiet village into a thriving community. Each villager is engaged, their laughter ringing out as they share in the labor. It's a stark contrast to the solitary existence he once knew atop Mount Olympus. After a few hours of gathering supplies, they return to the designated area for the communal garden. The sunlight filters through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the ground, and the atmosphere buzzes with excitement. Zeus stands at the center, surveying the area. "Let's get started," he calls out, his voice fueled with enthusiasm. The villagers jump into action, breaking ground, tilling the soil and planting seeds. Everyone is eager to contribute, laughter filling the air as they share stories and encouragement. The sense of community is palpable. They're not just planting crops, but cultivating relationships and shared experiences. As they work, Zeus takes a moment to share some wisdom he's learned about the importance of nurturing the land. Farming isn't just about the crops we grow. It's about the care we give to the soil and the love we pour into our work. Just as we must tend to our plants, we must also tend to one another. The villagers pause for a moment, reflecting on his words. "It's true," one villager replies. "Just like our stories connect us, the earth connects us all. We are part of this cycle together." With renewed energy, they continue to toil, planting rows of vegetables and herbs according to the plan they've laid out. Each seed sown feels like a promise for the future and investment in their shared well-being. As the sun swings high in the sky, Zeus steps back to admire the progress. The garden is beginning to take shape, an organized chaos of green and brown. It's a vibrant testament to their collective efforts, and he feels a sense of pride swell within him. However, as the day wears on, he notices a few villagers growing tired. "Let's take a break," he announces, wanting to ensure everyone feels supported. "We can gather under the shade and share some food." These villagers gratefully accept his offer, and they all gather around a large tree, sitting on blankets spread across the grass. Thalia pulls out a basket filled with bread, cheese, and some fruits, a feast to celebrate our hard work, she declares, her voice bright. As they share the meal, laughter and stories flow freely. Zeus finds himself sharing tales of Olympus, exaggerating the antics of the gods to entertain the villagers. In return, they share humorous and heartfelt stories about their own lives, creating an atmosphere of warmth and connection. After the meal, they return to the garden, invigorated and ready to continue their work. As they plant and nurture, the sun begins to set, casting a golden hue over the landscape. The day's labor comes to an end, but the sense of purpose remains strong. Before they part ways, Zeus gathers everyone for a moment of reflection. "Today has been a wonderful demonstration of what we can achieve together," he says, his voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you for your hard work and dedication. This garden will thrive because of each of you." With a chorus of cheers, the villagers disperse, their spirits high. Zeus walks back to his farmhouse feeling fulfilled, excited for the journey ahead. He knows this communal garden will not only enhance their agricultural practices, but also strengthen the bonds that unite them. As he lies down that night, he gazes up at the stars, feeling a deep sense of belonging. He has found a family in this village, a connection that transcends the divine and the mortal. His heart is full, and he knows he wouldn't trade this life for anything. With dreams of flourishing crops, shared laughter, and the promise of new beginnings, he drifts off to sleep, content in the knowledge that he is exactly where he is meant to be. The next morning dawns bright and clear, and Zeus wakes with a renewed sense of purpose. The communal garden project is well underway, and he feels a surge of excitement as he thinks about the potential it holds for both the land and the villagers. He stretches and steps outside, letting the crisp morning air fill his lungs, invigorating him for the day ahead. As he makes his way toward the garden, he notices that the village is already alive with activity. Villagers are gathering tools and preparing for another day of work, their faces reflecting the enthusiasm that has become a hallmark of their community spirit. The energy is contagious, and Zeus can feel the anticipation building as they set out to cultivate their new garden. When he arrives at the garden site, he finds Thalia already there, speaking with a few villagers about the layout of the next phase of planting. "Good morning, Zeus," she calls out, her voice bright with excitement. "I was just sharing some ideas about incorporating trellises for the climbing plants." "Great idea," he replies, stepping closer to hear her thoughts. "We can use those fallen branches we gathered the other day." They'll provide sturdy support for the beans and peas. As they discuss the layout, Zeus notices a few children gathering nearby. They're watching with wide eyes, intrigued by the work of the adults. "Why don't we involve them in the process?" he suggests, a playful grin spreading across his face. "Let's teach them about planting so they can help with their own little section of the garden." Thalia's eyes light up. "That's a wonderful idea. Engaging the children will help them feel connected to the process." With a wave of his hand, Zeus calls the children over, and they eagerly approach, their curiosity sparking their imaginations. "Would you like to help us plant some seeds today?" he asks, kneeling down to their level. "Yes," they shout in unison, their excitement palpable. Zeus can't help but chuckle at their enthusiasm. "Then let's get started. We're going to create a special area just for you." Together, Zeus, Thalia, and the children set to work, preparing a small plot for their new garden section. He shows them how to loosen the soil and create small mounds for planting. "Each seed is like a little promise," he explains, holding up a handful of seeds for them to see. "When we plant them, we're giving them a chance to grow into something wonderful. It's just like nurturing friendships. They need care and attention to flourish." The children watch intently, their eyes wide with wonder. "Can we plant them now?" one child asks, bouncing slightly on their heels. "Absolutely. Let's do it together," Zeus replies, guiding them on how to place the seeds in the soil, covering them gently as they go. As they plant the seeds, the children chat excitedly, sharing their dreams about the plants they hope will grow. "I want to grow the biggest pumpkin ever," one little girl exclaims, her eyes sparkling with determination. Zeus smiles, imagining a future festival where they could showcase the fruits of their labor. "With care and a little sunshine, you just might," he encourages, feeling the joy radiating from the children. As the morning unfolds, more villagers join in, eager to lend their assistance. They bring watering cans, tools, and more seeds, creating a lively atmosphere filled with laughter and camaraderie. The garden is becoming a true community effort, a representation of everything they've built together. Once the children's section is planted, Zeus gathers them around for a moment of reflection. "Today, we've planted not just seeds but also memories. These plants will grow, just like our friendships. Remember to care for them, and they'll return the favor with beautiful fruits and flowers." The children clap, their faces filled with joy and pride. They dash off to play, leaving the adults to continue their work. As the day progresses, Zeus and the villagers work diligently, planting a variety of crops in the communal garden. They plant carrots, beans, and herbs, interspersing flowers to attract pollinators. The atmosphere is one of joyful collaboration, and Zeus feels a deep sense of fulfillment watching the garden come to life. By midday, a break is called, and Zeus gathers everyone under the shade of a large tree. "Thank you all for your hard work today," he begins, his voice filled with gratitude. What we're creating here is not just a garden, but a legacy for generations to come. This is a testament to our commitment to one another and to the earth. The villagers murmur their agreement, their faces reflecting pride in their work. After the break, they resume their efforts, and as the sun begins to lower in the sky, Zeus feels a sense of accomplishment wash over him. They've made significant progress, and the garden is beginning to take shape as a vibrant tapestry of life. As evening approaches, the villagers gather to discuss their next steps. We should plan a time to check on the plants regularly. One villager suggests. We can rotate who tends to them, just like we did during the festival preparations. Zeus nods, pleased with the idea. That's a great plan. It ensures that everyone stays engaged and invested in the garden's success. As they finalize their plans, Zeus reflects on how far they've come since he first arrived in the village. The bonds they've forged through hard work, laughter, and shared goals have transformed not just their approach to farming but their community spirit. As night falls, Zeus returns to his farmhouse, his heart full. He gazes up at the stars, feeling a deep sense of belonging. These stars, once mere points of light in the sky, now feel like family reminders of the journey he's embarked upon. With dreams of flourishing gardens, laughter, and the promise of shared experiences, he drifts off to sleep, knowing that tomorrow will bring even more opportunities to nurture both the land and the relationships that mean so much to him. The following morning, Zeus awakens with the sun streaming through his window, its golden rays spilling warmth across his face. He stretches, feeling invigorated and eager to see how the communal garden has fared overnight. Today marks a week since the seeds were planted, and he knows that with a little care, they might already be showing signs of life. Stepping outside, he is greeted by the sound of birds chirping melodically, a symphony of nature welcoming him to the day. The village feels alive with possibility, and as he makes his way to the garden, he can hardly contain his excitement. When he arrives, he finds a small group of villagers already working in the garden, carefully tending to the rows they had planted together. Thalia stands among them, her hands in the soil as she inspects the emerging sprouts. "Good morning, Zeus," she calls, waving enthusiastically. "Come see how the plants are doing." Zeus rushes over, his heart racing with anticipation. As he stands beside her, he sees the first green shoots poking through the earth, tiny signs of life that fill him with joy. "They've made it," he exclaims, his voice filled with delight. "Look at how well they're growing." The villagers gather around, their expressions a mix of pride and wonder. "It's incredible to see our hard work paying off," one villager remarks, kneeling to get a closer look. "I knew we could do it." Encouraged by the sight of their progress, Zeus turns to the group. "Let's take some time today to care for these plants. We need to water them and remove any weeds that might compete for their nutrients." The villagers nod, enthusiasm bubbling in the air. They grab their watering cans and tools, ready to dive into the task at hand. Zeus watches as they work collaboratively, laughter mingling with the sounds of nature. He feels a deep sense of fulfillment to be part of this community, a far cry from the solitary existence he once led as a god. As they tend to the garden, Zeus wanders through the rows, checking on each plant. The children who had helped plant the seeds arrive, their faces bright with excitement. "Look, our pumpkins are growing," one of the little girls exclaims, pointing to the tiny, round sprouts peeking through the soil. "Yes, and soon they'll be big enough for the festival," Zeus replies, kneeling beside them. "Remember to water them carefully, they'll need your love to grow strong." The children eagerly take their watering cans, giggling as they splash water onto the young plants. Zeus can't help but smile at their enthusiasm. It's a joyful sight, showcasing the bond between nature, community, and the next generation. As the morning unfolds, villagers take turns sharing their farming knowledge, teaching one another about the different plants and how to care for them. Zeus learns about companion planting, the benefits of certain herbs, and the importance of pollinators. Each lesson adds to his understanding, and he feels grateful for the wealth of knowledge circulating among them. After a few hours of hard work, the sun reaches its zenith, and the villagers gather for a break under the shade of a large tree. Zeus calls them together, feeling the urge to acknowledge their efforts. "Today, we've nurtured not only our plants but also our community. Each of you has contributed to something beautiful, and it's an honor to work alongside you." Applause erupts from the group, and a sense of camaraderie fills the air. Thalia leans in closer, her eyes sparkling with ideas. "I was thinking, since the plants are thriving, We could plan our first harvest for the upcoming full moon. It would be a perfect time to celebrate our progress and gather everyone together for another festival. Zeus nods enthusiastically. Absolutely. It's a wonderful idea. We can showcase what we've grown, share recipes, and have a feast to honor our hard work. Let's start planning today, another villager suggests, and soon they're brainstorming ways to make the harvest festival even more special. They discuss decorations, potential performances, and what kinds of food they'll prepare to highlight their fresh produce. As they share ideas, Zeus feels a surge of excitement. The thought of celebrating their progress renews the energy in the air. What if we hold a contest for the biggest pumpkin and the best dish? He proposes. It could be a fun way to bring friendly competition into our feast. The villagers cheer at the suggestion, their faces lighting up with anticipation. It's evident that the harvest festival will not only celebrate their hard work but also strengthen the bonds they've formed through shared experiences. After their break, they return to the garden, continuing to nurture the plants with renewed vigor. Zeus feels a sense of connection to the earth, recognizing that he is now a vital part of this community. Each seed they planted represents a promise, and as they cultivate the garden, they also cultivate their relationships. As the sun begins to set, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink, Zeus gathers the villagers together once more. We've accomplished so much today, but let's not forget to take time to reflect on the journey we've had together, he says, his voice steady. Every day brings us closer, and it's beautiful to witness how far we've come. As they share their thoughts and experiences, Zeus feels a warmth in his heart. He realizes that this communal garden is not just about growing food, it's about growing together, learning from one another, and fostering a sense of belonging. When night falls, the village is bathed in the soft glow of lanterns and laughter fills the air. Zeus returns to his farmhouse, reflecting on the day's accomplishments. The bonds forged in the garden remind him of the importance of unity and collaboration. Lying in bed, he gazes out at the stars twinkling in the night sky, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the journey he has undertaken. He knows that the harvest festival will be another remarkable chapter in their shared story, one that will further intertwine their lives and strengthen their connections. With dreams of pumpkins, laughter, and the warmth of community, he drifts off to sleep, eager for the adventures that await in the coming days. As the days pass, anticipation for the upcoming harvest festival builds within the village. The garden thrives under the care of Zeus and the villagers, vibrant greens and rich colors painting a picture of abundance. Each morning, as the sun rises, they gather to tend to their plants, nurturing not just the crops but the bonds they have forged along the way. On a particularly bright morning, Zeus awakens with a sense of excitement, realizing that the full moon approaches, and with it, the time for their first harvest. Today, they will prepare for the festival, gathering the fruits of their labor and ensuring everything is in place for the grand celebration. After a quick breakfast, he makes his way to the garden, where villagers are already bustling about, readying themselves for this day's work. Good morning, everyone, he calls out, his heart swelling with joy. Today is a day of celebration. Let's gather our harvest and prepare for the festivities. The villagers cheer, their enthusiasm palpable. They scatter through the garden, carefully selecting produce, filling baskets with vibrant vegetables and fragrant herbs. Zeus helps them collect the pumpkins, each one a testament to their hard work and dedication. As he lifts a particularly large pumpkin, he marvels at its size and beauty. This one will surely win the contest, he teases, eliciting laughter from the nearby children who eagerly await their turn to participate. As the afternoon progresses, the square fills with the sounds of preparation. Villagers set up tables, string lights, and adorn the area with colorful garlands and flowers from the garden. Zeus walks through the village, helping wherever he can, his heart buoyed by the spirit of collaboration and joy that permeates the air. Thalia approaches him, holding a list of items to prepare. We need to finalize the menu, she exclaims, her eyes glowing with excitement. I've compiled a list of dishes we can make with the harvest, but I want to make sure everyone has a chance to contribute. Zeus nods, appreciating her enthusiasm. Let's gather everyone together and brainstorm. This feast should reflect the flavors of our hard work. They call the villagers to assemble, and soon a lively discussion ensues. Each person shares their ideas for recipes, highlighting the unique flavors they can create using the fresh produce from the garden. How about a roasted vegetable medley? One villager suggests. Or perhaps a pumpkin pie for dessert. Another chimes in. The air is filled with laughter and friendly debates as they finalize the menu, each dish representing a piece of their collective efforts. Zeus feels a sense of pride watching them collaborate, the joy of community evident in every smile. Let's also prepare some traditions to honor our harvest, he suggests, recalling the stories shared during their previous festival. Perhaps we can incorporate some storytelling and music into the evening, an opportunity to reflect on our journey and celebrate our achievements. The villagers agree enthusiastically, eager to share their experiences and revel in the bonds they've built over the past weeks. Well, set up a space for performances. Thalia adds, her spirit undeterred. And I can lead some of the storytelling sessions. As the sun begins to set, the village square transforms into a vibrant scene. Lanterns flicker to life, casting a warm glow over the festivities. Tables overflow with dishes prepared from their harvest, each one a testament to their hard work and shared memories. As the festival officially begins, Zeus stands at the center of the square, looking out at the smiling faces of the villagers. Welcome, everyone, to our first harvest festival, he exclaims, his voice rich with warmth. Today, we celebrate not only the fruits of our labor, but the bonds we've nurtured together. Let us share our stories, enjoy our food, and revel in the connections we've built. Cheering erupts from the crowd, and the first storyteller steps forward, captivating everyone with tales of adventure and laughter. Zeus listens intently, feeling the warmth of community wrap around him like a cherished blanket. Each story shared is a reminder of their shared journey, of the strength found in unity. As the night unfolds, the air fills with music and laughter. Villagers dance and celebrate, their spirits high as they partake in the feast. Zeus joins in, reveling in the joy of the moment. He spins and twirls with Thalia, and they laugh, the bond between them stronger than ever. With each passing hour, the festivities continue, and the villagers share heartfelt stories, passing down traditions and experiences. Zeus feels a sense of contentment wash over him. This celebration transcends mere food and drink. It's a testament to the strength of community, the power of connection, and the beauty of shared labor. As the night deepens, Zeus gathers the villagers for one final moment, an opportunity to reflect on the journey they've taken together. Tonight, we've shared not only a harvest, but a tapestry of lives intertwined, he says, his voice steady. Let this festival be a reminder of the beauty that comes from hard work, friendship, and love for the land. Together, we have created something extraordinary. With those words, the villagers cheer, their hearts united in a shared vision for the future. They raise their cups to one another, embracing the spirit of celebration that fills the air. As the festival draws to a close, Zeus gazes around at the smiling faces, feeling profound gratitude for the journey he has undertaken. He has found a home among the villagers, a place where he can be both a god and a friend, a steward of the earth and a part of something much larger than himself. As he returns to his farmhouse that night, the stars twinkle above him, whispering sweet promises of new beginnings. He lays down to rest, his heart full, knowing that this is just the beginning of their journey together. With dreams of lush gardens, laughter, and the promise of community, he drifts off to sleep, content in the knowledge that he